Gore's interest in climate change issue is that of a missionary. It dates back to his student days. At Harvard University, his professor Roger Revelle sowed in him the seeds of an interest to learn the role of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This interest has been growing since then. Al Gore went deep and deep into the topic, presented slideshows, and delivered lectures on the topic. Al Gore says that he presented about 1,000 slideshows before he was given the offer to transform his collections into a documentary movie. Two producers, Laurie David and Lawrence Bender, saw one of his slideshows in 2004 in New York and were so impressed that they, with the help of director Davis Guggenheim, used the material to make the movie An Inconvenient Truth. The movie weaves very skillfully Al Gore's motivational skills and his insight into the causes and effects of global warming, along with the human costs, including 100 million people feared to be rendered homeless in island states and coastal areas because of rising sea levels. Consequently, An Inconvenient Truth, distributed by Paramount Classics, became a big box office hit, grossing over $49 million worldwide. It also won inspirational comments by film reviewers. Roger Ebert, a film critic, wrote these lines: "In 39 years, I have never written these words in movie review, but here they are. You owe it to yourself to see this film. If you do not, and you have grandchildren, you should explain them why you decided not to." To further spread the knowledge, Al Gore founded an NGO, the Alliance for Climate Protection, a bipartisan initiative. His zeal and sincerity to the cause is evident from the fact that he and his wife Tipper gave away all the proceeds from the movie and its companion book to this organization. Tipper and I are donating 100% of the profits from the book and the movie to a new bipartisan educational campaign to further spread the message about global warming, said Gore. And he knows no stopping. On July 7, 2007, he joined Kevin Wall of Save Ourselves and organized a star-studded live Earth concerts to promote environmentalism worldwide. He is pushing the issue out of political arena into the humanitarian field. During his brief speech during the Oscar award given to the director of An Inconvenient Truth, Davis Guggenheim, he told the celebrity audience, "My fellow Americans and people all over the world, we need to solve the climate crisis. It is not a political issue, it is a moral issue. We have everything. We need to get started, with the possible exception of the will to act. That is a renewable resource. Let us renew it." His fellow Americans and the people all over the world are listening to him and joining his battle. His slideshows have got standing ovations. He is one of the most respected international speakers. He is the winner of the Academy Award and also of an Emmy. And now he is honored with the world's most prestigious award, the Nobel Peace Prize 2007, which he shares with the UN's Science Panel IPCC, headed by Rajendra K. Pachauri. The Nobel Prize Committee acknowledges Al Gore's contributions in its citation. Al Gore is probably the single individual who has done most to create worldwide understanding of the measures that need to be adopted. The accolades came despite ferocious and frontal attacks on Al Gore by numerous individuals and organizations. One such organization is Chicago-based Heartland Institute. It spent $750,000 to prove Al Gore and his documentary film wrong. The news of Nobel Prize to Al Gore, in partnership with IPCC, terribly perturbed him. Its CEO, Joseph Bast, vented his anger in these words: "The decision by the Nobel Foundation to award this year's Peace Prize to Albert Gore and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is very disappointing. Neither deserve this recognition." On Al Gore, he wrote these words: "Mr. Gore is an environmental alarmist whose views have been repeatedly contradicted by scientists, economists, and policy experts. We can add this to the list the British, which earlier this week ruled his film, An Inconvenient Truth, is partisan propaganda and should only be shown in classrooms with suitable warnings. The judge in that case identified 9 specific errors, exaggerations, or outright lies in the film. He could have named a dozen more. But, undaunted and unperturbed, Al Gore continues on with his mission of motivating the people to act urgently to save the earth. Al Gore is a great motivator. Imagine the opening monologue of the movie, An Inconvenient Truth. You look at the river gently flowing by. You notice the leaves rustling with the wind. You hear the birds. You hear the tree frogs in the distance. You hear the cow. The mud gives a little bit on the river bank. It is quiet. It is peaceful. And all of a sudden, there is a gear shift inside you. And it is like taking a deep breath and going, "Oh yeah, I forgot about this." Yet another example. His 2 motivational questions during his 23rd October speech at Berlin. I believe our children and grandchildren will look towards the year 2007 and ask one of the 2 questions. They will ask about us.
What were they doing? What were they thinking about? And how could they let that catastrophe happen? Didn't they listen to the scientists? Didn't they see the glaciers and polar caps melting? Didn't they see that fire?
Al Gore indicates that the second question that he would like them to ask will be by those children to whom we would inherit a safe planet. And they will ask,
Wow, how did they find the moral courage to rise up and solve the problem everyone said was impossible to solve?
big question. How can we ensure a happy posterity of Al Gore's dreams? Our editorial opinion follows.
I propose Al Gore shall change his audience from the people to politicians. He shall motivate world politicians to join mainstream battle under the UN flag. He has the leverage for it. He can easily break American resistance. The planet will be made safe, not by rallies alone. The prerequisite is action at government levels under the supervision and direction of the United Nations. This is the only option with us to have safe planet and prosperous posterity. And this is the only strategy to win UN's war on global warming.